This is the quantization of gravity. In other words, a merging of general relativity and quantum mechanics. Okay, that's what it is. An attempt to see if we can merge them. And we have a problem because these people are working on abstract mathematical concepts and they're not trying to imagine it physically. What is happening out there, really, And the reason they don't is they consider that part of philosophy, ontology, or semantics, word salad, who knows? For them, it's just words. They just do math. When you ask them, you say, how is it that this spoon falls to the floor? They cannot answer that simple question. And they cannot because they don't know what an object is. They don't know what a thing is. And yes, there are some things here, yeah, right, that we cannot see or touch. And remember, every atom of the spoon is connected to every atom of the earth. So, yeah, as it falls, the ropes fan out. That's what's happening. That's how simple gravity is. It's a kid stuff. It's for babies. Anyways, for these people, quantization of gravity, the merging of quantum mechanics and general relativity, is like a holy grail. There was in the days of the Greeks, they had a little myth, little story, right? And it was about Jason and the Argonauts. And they had a little boat. I guess you can call it a ship. Looks something like that, okay? Trireme, maybe, a little one, right? And with this little boat, they went out there and they looked for what is known as the Golden Fleece. Now, that's not the Golden Fleas, okay? It's the whole Golden Fleece, okay, just in case. Okay, so we have this Golden Fleece, and what is that? Well, it was like, again, like a holy grail. They were looking for this. Why? Because the Golden Fleece, it says there, is the fleece of the golden wooled winged ram. Okay, so it was like a holy ram or holy fleece, I guess you could say. And one guy gave it to a king, okay, who kept it in a sacred grove, and Jason the Argonaut stole it in order to place Jason rightfully on the throne of Tulcus in Thessaly. Okay, and a fleece is a symbol of what? Of authority and kingship. That's important, because all these holy grails, they kind of give you authority, and so all these folks are out there trying to get a little authority behind them. Like if I have authority because I got a whole golden fleece in my hand. It's like my holy grail. That I conquered, I found or brought back. And one guy or series of fellows who tried to get they had this holy grail, were King Arthur and his knights. They had this holy grail that you see there more or less in the center, okay, on the left-hand side a little bit there. And, this was what they were after. They looked for these goals, as they're known today, a desire that you have to accomplish something. And in those days, they had this holy grail, which was like, a thing that they were after. And today, they have something similar. They have these, I guess you can say, these goals, these targets that they're trying to achieve, especially in mathematical physics. They're trying to understand specifically gravity, and one of the goals is to merge it, with quantum mechanics. And so the group of people who do that today are, the mathematicians. Here you have a few of them that you might be able to recognize just by looking at their faces. Okay, and these folks are after, again, a holy grail. But the holy grail is not a little cup, golden cup there. In fact, it's taken a different format now. And here, let me show you what the holy grail of today looks like for all these people. And here goes, drum roll, there it goes. There it is, the holy grail of physics. It's getting a Nobel medal, getting recognition from all the other mathematicians. And so people are working more on this stuff, on trying to be celebrities than on trying to do science. And they think they're going to do it through math. And they're saying, if I find the holy grail, the equation that will allow me to be famous among my colleagues, oh man, that's what I want the most. And so they're all working on the celebrity side and very little on the physics side. So all these people are, out in left field. Who knows what they're working on today? And here you have the holy grail of gravitational physics, right? You could tell it. And again, what you have is this field thingy. And this is how they intend to unite or merge, quantum with relativity through the field. Because, quantum died a long time ago, I'd say a couple decades ago at least, and they went into quantum field theory. You say, what do you mean field theory? Yeah, see, quantum is discrete and field is extended. And so they said, hey, if we're going to unite quantum with relativity, we better have something that is extended. And what else could it be if not a field? And so we have to understand what this enigmatic word field means, right? What is it? What does it represent? And they obviously, every single one of them, these mathematicians, they treat it like a physical object. And what it really is, what you see there on the left, it's a region of values. Okay, you have the Cartesian coordinates there, and you have all these, values, these ordered pairs, right? And you represent them with dots. And then those dots move, as you see at the upper right. They're very, very scary stuff, because all these numbers, they start moving, they vibrate. And even so, you can't merge that with what you see on the bottom, which is bottom right there, which is the one they use in relativity, which are the number lines. Okay, so one thing has nothing to do with the other. And so these people are trying to unite things that are irreconcilable. You cannot reconcile these two notions, these two concepts. Okay, so how they plan to do it mathematically, I don't know, but mathematically you can do anything. The question, can you do it physically? I mean, so far we have nothing physical in front of us. We have numbers. In the case of the quantum field, you can even take the gravitational field, the classical one, no problem. Same thing. They don't know what it is. They just have values there. And then you have the number lines of relativity. And what are those? Well, again, in a way, it's the same thing, because, you have number lines, but you have dots there. But see, those dots represent events. What is a point in space-time? That's an event. And all these events form space-time. And an event's not a physical object. It's just a concept. And they're saying, if we take all these values there, all these coordinates, and we put them together, we build this net, fish net. And, when you say, hey, but you're saying there's a fish net there, they say, you're not supposed to take the analogy so literally. What am I supposed to do with a net, And don't take it literally. It's not for real, okay? So they're talking about math. Okay? That's the bottom line. Okay, so the question is, can you merge also, the quantum particles? Here you have them falling inwards, like we know gravity works. Everything falls towards the center of the sun, or center of the earth, or center of whatever celestial object you have out there. And then you have the famous gravitational waves, and they also perturb, space-time, but the waves go outwards. So how does this outward thing, irrespective of how you produce gravity with these, the question, how do you merge, how do you relate the one on the right with the one on the left? What does one thing have to do with the other? What does one mechanism have to do with the other? That's the question we're asking, right? And again, there's absolutely no way you can reconcile this stuff. Okay, so here we have the quantum, again, version where they exchange gravitons. And again, how do you reconcile this with the warping of number lines that we have in relativity? And again, you can't do that. You can't merge these two. They're simply conceptually different. Okay, you cannot merge them. Okay, so here we have our good friend Arvin Ash again, and he's going to tell you what a particle is. Okay, and because you're saying, Bill, you're saying that the field. What is a field? Well, the field, if you have a local vibration of the field, that's what they call a particle, and this is what Ash tells you. Okay, listen to him.
In these turbulent seas, a large wave can be created. These are the real particles. The fields are always there and exist everywhere.
Okay, so now you know what a particle is. It's the vibration of a field, local vibration of field, but there's something extra there that you should be aware of. It's not only the vibration of a number, because that's what a field is, a bunch of numbers. It's a value at each point in space. They get these values and they say, well, they change. They change, the strength or the force or whatever's locally there. And because they change, they say it's vibrating. And the vibration, that's what we call a particle, the vibration of that local part of the field, right? And what is a field? A number. So they're vibrating numbers, and they calling those particles, okay? Okay, so the big problem, or one of the things you should keep in mind at least, is this one, that particle is not an island. Remember, the quantum particle was supposedly a discrete entity. No, this is a peninsula. It sticks out of the field, okay? And that's how they illustrate it. They have no other way of illustrating this thing. If it's the vibration of the field, local vibration of a field, it's not a discrete entity. It's a peninsula, not an island, okay? So let's make sure we understand that. Conceptually, again, irrational. All of mathematical physics is irrational. And how do you plan to reconcile, again, I guess you could say the singularity or the particles or the vibration of a particle, which is a vibration of a number of quantum mechanics. How do you plan to relate that to, the black holes, the dark matter, and the wormhole? Here you have the black holes, the dark matter, wormholes. What is this, which is all gravitationally explained, right? What does this have anything to do with the vibration of a local vibration of a particle, of a field, right? And so, yeah, we have a problem because it's, there's no way you can merge quantum mechanics with relativity because they're conceptually different. So whatever math they develop, they're going to have to force, put it in by hand in order for them to match. There's no other way they can get it to match. Okay? And so what's the holy grail of all these people? Well, here it is. Here's a summary of that. It's the quantization of space-time. Every dot in the net there that you see there, each one of those is an event. And they turn those into, particles, local vibrations of the field. And that's what they plan to merge with, space-time, because space-time is a bunch of fields, and they're really, what it amounts to is just number lines. And at the corner of each number line, where two number lines meet, well, they have a value there, and they vibrate it, and that's called a field, which is known as a particle. And that's it. What you have is, something which does not match, one thing does not match the other. Quantum mechanics has no relation whatsoever with general relativity. So what these people are working on is total nonsense. And they studied for 10 years all this math, right? They get brainwashed on what the authorities, fed them, and they don't question the authority. You never question authority after 100 years. How dare you question Einstein? He couldn't have been wrong. Everybody worships him. And he came up with all this nonsense. He didn't really. There was others like Minkowski and so on that came up with space-time and Lorentz and so on. But, he gets all the credit. Fine, no problem. So it's all Einstein. Perfect. It's even better. It's easier to tear Einstein down, and we tear them all down. You only have to hit him. And so, it comes up with all this nonsense where we have vibrating number lines, and then the other guys have the field, which is a particle, particle theory. And what's the particle theory? The vibration, local vibration of a field. How do you merge them? It's impossible. It's conceptually different. And so, that's the story for today. No quantum gravity, quantization of gravity of number lines. None of that has anything to do with reality.